It has been a minute since I have done a video of a new technique, but the one I have today was well worth waiting for. We're going to make this happy birthday card. I don't know if you can see the shimmer and shine on this. I think you can. So this technique involves a stencil, which will be a DecoArt stencil and mandala, some DecoArt Americana paints. I have them right here lined up. I'll show you each color as I continue on. We're going to swirl this on, and then we're going to put some Versamark over top of it. That's what this is right here. And then this is a watermark stamp. We're going to emboss some Stampin' Up! Iridescent ice, but you can use any embossing powder that is got some glimmer shimmer to it. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm back. I have simply taped down a piece of 5x7 cardstock and my stencil over top. I'm going to start with my lightest color. I'm going to load my paint, but I'm going to brush some of it off on a paper towel. And this is Soft Heather, and I've just swirled this in the middle. And you choose which sections that you want to cover. And then I'm going to get it off of my brush. I'm not going to clean my stencil brush. I'm just going to pick up at the next color, which is Coral Shell. And I'm going to do the next layering around this. Now you can tape off if you like. I didn't find it necessary because I can use like just one side of my stencil brush and be okay. Alright, now it looks super light right now, but when I pull this up, it's going to of course be darker. So I'm going to clean my brush off again. I'm going into my next color, which is Bubblegum Pink. And I'm going to get this section right here. And you know, you could do any color choices. I tried to pick colors in the pink family. One of my co-workers is crazy about pink. My stenciler is best, and this is a very good one. It's from Rebecca Bayer. She designed this stenciler to get into the very fine details. And I do a lot of stenciling. I use DecoArt stencils all the time. And and I'm not pressing down really hard, you just really have to just swirl it around. Instead of dabbing, I had to dab up here because I had some little spaces, but I'm swirling now in the bigger, where I have more space, okay? So you can see I'm covering that pretty good. If you miss one teeny spot, that's not going to matter. Clean your brush out and pick up your next color, which is Dragon Fruit, okay? You can swirl it around on here first to get it good and in the bristles, and then take some of it off. I mainly do that so that it doesn't gum up. As you can see, I'm hitting this part of the stencil sections that are the same around. And this is going to work with any stencil you have. The cool thing about it is that you can use any stencil you want. I'm going to need a little bit more. Work it in. Dab it off a little bit, because I got to continue around this card. Now on this particular one that I'm doing, we're not even going to have a background color, and that is okay with me. I like having white. You of course could go in and put a color in your background if you like. That's totally up to you. I'm just trying to show you the technique, okay? And so now I'm trying to cover my edges, so I am dragging it toward the edge some, which is going to get on my countertop. But this is a butcher block kitchen countertop, so thankfully when I get any ink on it, paint, ink, whatever, I can use, and I did not dab off on that, and I'm going to have too much paint in there. I can use a straight edge metal ruler and scrape it off. Then squirt some water or cleaner on there and just wipe off the excess. You see, there's not a lot of difference it's going to gradually come out being pink, okay? And I kind of wanted that. But I did like the red right around the, which is not red. The last color we're going to use is called Cinnamon Drop. And I'm going to go over. Now this, you're going to be surprised at how fast your paint dries on this paper. You're going to be very surprised. And it doesn't take a lot of paint. So if you want to have a couple of these ready to go at one time, you could certainly do that. And then I'm just going to kind of blend this around the edge of it. I don't want to cover the whole thing. I just want my edges, okay? I did a little more than that on the other card, but I think I like just the edge. And just, so, like in my case, it doesn't matter if I'm getting it on a table. If you need to have something underneath your cardstock, then, and I am using just regular white cardstock from Walmart. I did not use watercolor paper with this, because by the time you're stenciling your paint, the paper is not going to buckle up. Okay, so that's our next step. I'm going to go clean up and I'll be right back. Thank you. I'm back. This is the result of what we've done. It's already dry. It just took me a minute to clean my stencil off, because our next step, your stencil has to be clean. You're going to line up your stencil right over top of where you have painted. Okay, and it doesn't have to be too, exact, but you want to be as close as you can. Tape your stencils back on, back down to your workspace. And the next part we're going to do, now a lot of card makers use Versamark. I'm a card maker as well as an art person, so I have a dauber and I have Versamark, and we're gonna ink up our dauber, and you're gonna kind of just pounce it into where the paint's at. And when we get done with this part, we will put the embossing powder on it and heat set it. And all the iridescent ice from Stampin' Up! Does is, it doesn't cover your color up, it just adds glitter to it, that glitter that's not going to come off, okay? When you heat set it, it melts it into what you're doing, okay? Then all you have to do is add your embellishments, and you're going to put it on some solid cardstock, or whatever color cardstock you want, and finish your card out. I use paint a lot making cards. I love to make my own backgrounds. It's one of my very favorite things to do. I think that's sufficient. You can kind of look back and forth and see the shiny part of where it's at, and then you're just going to pull up your stencil, and you clean your stencil with alcohol, and it'll get all that Versamark off. I'm going to untape it. I'm trying not to touch the parts and just keep saving your tape to keep reusing it. Now when I do open it up over your card, because I'm sure I'm going to have some loose flecks, and I try to use coffee filters to put it in, and just sprinkle your embossing powder over top of that. Get some up on this edge, and then I need to do this other side. And by catching it in this coffee filter, you don't waste any of it. It looks like I'm using the whole container, but watch how much we have left when I pour it back in, which I'm kind of being messy right here. I'm normally neater than this. Just tap it off a little bit. Take your coffee filter, pour it right back into your container. And see, I haven't used very much at all. I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to heat set it with my heating tool, and I'll be right back. So I'm done heat setting this. As you can see the shimmer of it and the shine. It's beautiful, isn't it? Our colors stand out a lot more when you use some Versamark with it. And then the embellishments, I heat embossed white on my colored cardstock to match my card colors. And then I did some of the glitter on these little hearts I had punched out. I just did it around the edge of the big ones. And then I did the whole little bitty heart. Really, really cute. Really cute. And then this is, I just glued it with some glossy accents so everything would stick to the glitter. And I hope you'll try it. Thanks. Have a good day.